Hello, welcome again sa Wisdom Academy PH. So now, we will discuss about the continuity of a function on a number. So, this topic is the fifth video on our limits and continuity series. So, let's start. So, first let us define what is continuity. So, a function f of x is said to be continuous at x equals a if the following conditions are satisfied. So, first, f of a must be defined. The limit of f of x as x approaches a exists, and f of a must be equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches a. Otherwise, so kung kahit anumang condition dito ay hindi na satisfy, so f of x is said to be discontinuous at x equals to a. So, ma-explain natin to more or mas maintindihan nyo to more using graphical examples. So, dito, may dalawa tayong example, si f of x tsaka si g of x. So, yung f of x natin, continuous siya at x equals 1. So, dito, continuous siya dito. Since yung limit niya dito is alam natin 3 and yung f of a niya, alam din natin na 3. So, f of x is continuous at x equals 1. Yung g of x naman, since butas siya dito sa x equals 1, malalaman kagad natin na discontinuous siya at x equals 1 dahil undefined siya sa g of 1. Okay? So, next. Si h of x naman, defined siya sa x equals 1. So, h of 1 equals siya sa 1. Kaso, if we will find the limit of the function as x approaches 1, so, papalapit siya ng papalapit sa 1, ang makukuha nating value sa limit niya is 3. Pero yung h of a niya is equal to 1. So, since hindi equal si h of a sa limit niya, then h of x is discontinuous at x equals 1. Okay? So, other example. So, dito makikita natin na at x equals 0, papunta sa infinity si function. So, yung limit niya does not exist since infinity siya. And if kukunin din natin si f of 0, undefined siya. So, discontinuous talaga siya. Dito naman, since yung right-sided limit niya and left-sided limit niya is not equal to each other, so limit does not exist. So, it is discontinuous at x equals to 0. So, yun yung basics ng continuity. So, paano ba natin i-solve yung continuities? Madali lang. So, hanapin lang natin sa f of a, hanapin lang natin yung limit niya as x approaches a, then, titignan lang natin if equal sila sa isa't isa. Okay? So, let us find the continuity of this function at x equals negative 2. So, first, hanapin muna natin si f of negative 2. So, si f of negative 2, ang gagamitin nating function is ito. Since at x equals 2, ito yung gagamitin natin. So, x equals to negative 4. So, ayan, may f of negative 2 na tayo. Ngayon naman, hanapin naman natin si limit of f of x as x approaches negative 2. So, to do this, since piecewise function to, and endpoint si negative 2, kailangan natin hanapin yung limit niya from the left and from the right. So, limit ni f of x as x approaches negative 2 from the left muna. So, it will be equal to limit as x approaches negative 2 nung x squared minus 4 over x plus 2. So, using direct substitution, makukuha tayo ng 0 over 0. So, since indeterminate form siya, kailangan muna natin mag-factoring from our previous discussion. So, yung factor out muna natin si numerator. So, equal to sa x minus 2 times x plus 2 over x plus 2. So, maka-cancel out lang natin to. So, using direct substitution, maging negative 2 minus negative 2 -4. So, limit naman ni f of x as x approaches -2 from the right, ito naman ang gagamitin natin. So, limit as x approaches -2 from the right of x squared plus 3x minus 2. Since ito lang din yung kanina, -2 squared plus 3 times -2 minus 2, this will be equal to -4 as well. So, yung limit na f of x as x approaches -2, since equal yung left side limit niya and right side limit niya, equal siya sa -4. Ayan. Since yung limit ni f of x as x approaches -2 ay equal to f of -2, so they are both equal to -4, so the function is continuous at x equals -2. So, that is our final answer. Okay? So, ganun lang mag-solve ng continuities. Ngayon naman, hanapin naman natin yung continuity ni g of x at x equals to 4. So, yung g of 4, makukuha agad natin since ito lang yon. So, 1/4. Okay, so paano naman yung limit ng g of x as x approaches 4? If we use direct substitution, since ito yung gagamitin natin, since ito, 4x equals to 4 lang to. So, the rest of the function, ito yung gagamitin natin. We will use direct substitution dito. Makukuha natin is 4 minus 4 over 16 minus 16, which is equal to 0 over 0. So, indeterminate form uli siya. So, kailangan natin i-manipulate yung equation para makuha natin yung limit niya. Okay? So, anong pwede natin gawin dito? Remember na x minus 4, absolute value of x minus 4 is equal to x minus 4 for x greater than 4 and negative x minus 4 for x less than 4. So, since piecewise function siya and yung 4 yung endpoint niya, so kailangan natin kunin yung one-sided limits nila. So, limit of g of x as x approaches 4 from the left muna. So, from the left, yung absolute value ay negative. So, if-factor out na natin yung denominator. So, maka-cancel out natin si x minus 4 dito. So, negative 1 over x be equal to negative 1 over 4. So, yung limit naman ni g of x as x approaches 4 from the right. So from the right, yung value ni absolute value is x minus 4 lang. So, maka-cancel natin si x minus 4. We will have limit of 1 over x. And the limit will be equal to 1 over 4. So, since the left-sided limit and the right-sided limit are not equal to each other, so the limit of g of x does not exist. And since it does not exist, then the function g of x is discontinuous at x equals to 4. So, yun ang ating final answer. Okay? So now, we will discuss about the types of discontinuities. The first type of discontinuity is the removable discontinuity. F of x is said to have a removable discontinuity at x equals a if the limit of f of x exists, but either f of a is undefined or f of a is not equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches a. So, ibig sabihin, nag-i-exist naman si limit, pero hindi siya equal to f of a or undefined sa f of a. So, that's the first type of discontinuity. The second type is the essential discontinuity. Dito naman, yung limit does not exist. So, may two types ng essential discontinuity. So, first, jump essential discontinuity. So, titignan lang natin kung ano yung reason kung bakit limit does not exist. So, if yung reason is dahil hindi equal si left-sided limit sa right-sided limit, then jump essential discontinuity yung tawag. Kapag naman dahil infinity si limit, so either yung left-sided limit or yung right-sided limit ay infinity, then we will call it infinite essential discontinuity. Okay? So, some graphical examples. So, yung kaninang example natin na hindi equal si f of a sa limit, so ang tawag doon ay removable discontinuity. Okay? So, kung mapapansin niyo, removable discontinuity siya kasi matatanggal natin yung discontinuity kung i-define natin to be equal to 3 at x equals 1. So, kailangan lang natin i-define yung function para ma-remove yung discontinuity. Next naman is jump essential discontinuity. Jump essential discontinuity happens dahil hindi nga equal si left-sided limit sa right-sided limit. So, ganito itsura niya. Hindi equal si left-sided limit sa right-sided limit. Jump essential discontinuity yung tawag niya kasi parang nag-jump siya dito, papunta dito. And lastly, infinite essential discontinuity. So, infinite naman siya dahil yung limit as x approaches the value of 0, papunta siya sa infinity. So, the limit is equals to infinity. Therefore, each of x has an infinite essential discontinuity at x equals to 0. Okay? So, example. So, yung example natin kanina na hinanapan natin ng continuity sa g of x dito, remember lang natin yung solution. Makita natin na limit of g of x as x approaches 4 from the right, limit niya is 1/4. From the left, limit niya is negative 1/4. So, since hindi siya equal to each other, masasabi natin na g of x is discontinuous and specifically, g of x has a jump essential discontinuity at x equals to 4. Bagong example, so we should find the continuity of f of x at x equals 2 and x equals to negative 1. So, dalawang continuity yung hahanapin natin. So, first, let us find the continuity at x equals to 2. Hanapin mo natin f of 2. So, 2 plus 1 over 2 plus 2 minus 4. So, equal to sa 3 over 0 undefined. Okay. So, ngayon pa lang, alam na natin na discontinuous siya. Pero, anong type of discontinuity? So, next naman, hanapin natin si limit of f of x as x approaches 2. So, this will be equal to, so, using direct substitution, so parang yung kanina lang din to, makukuha natin is 3 over 0. So, maging equal to sa infinity, pero hindi natin alam kung ano yung sign. So, we must find its one-sided limits first. So, limit as x approaches 2 from the right, f of x. So, equal siya sa, so, maging equal to sa 3 over 2 plus 2 from the right minus 2 from the right squared. So, gumamit tayo ng values dito para hindi nakakalito kung ano yung magiging sign. So, instead na 2, 2.1 yung gamitin natin. So, maging equal to sa 3 over 2 plus 2.1 minus 4.41. So, this will be equal to, so ito maging 4.1 to minus 4.41. So, negative siya. So, 0, negative. So, equal to sa negative infinity. So, ganun din. Hanapin naman natin yung limit niya from the left. So, this will be equal to, so, gamit ulit tayo dito, 1.9 para hindi tayo malito sa sign. So, this will be equal to 3 over 3.9 minus 3.61. So, 30.9 minus 3.61, so positive siya, so 0 plus. So, this will be equal to positive infinity. So, yung limit does not exist since hindi sila equal Pero alam natin na infinite yung values nila sa one-sided limit. So, at x equals 2, f of x has infinite essential discontinuity. Okay. So now, we will solve for its continuity at x equals 1. So, first, substitute muna natin yung values sa function. So, f of negative 1 plus 1 over 2 minus 1 minus 1. This will be equal to 0 over 0. So, undefined. So, ganun din, hanapin natin yung limit ni f of x as x approaches negative 1. So, this will be equal to 0 over 0 since nasolve natin yun dito sa f of negative 1. So, gagawin natin, kailangan natin na i-factor out. So, dito maka-cancel na natin sa x plus 1. So, maging 1 na lang yung numerator. This will be equal to limit as x approaches negative 1 over x minus 2. So, using direct substitution, makukuha natin na negative 1 over negative 1 minus 2 is equals to negative 1 over negative 3 is equals to 1/3. Since the limit exists, but f of negative 1 is undefined, we can say na f of x has a removable discontinuity at x is equals to negative 1. So, yun ang ating sagot. So, tama naman yung ating naging final answer. For removable discontinuity, nabanggit ko kanina na tinawag siyang removable kasi pwede natin tanggalin yung discontinuity na yun by redefining the value of f such that f of a is equals to the limit of f of x as x approaches a. So, since alam natin na 1/3 yung value niya dito, so we will redefine this such that at x equals to negative 1, the value of f of x is 1/3. So, magiging ganito siya. So, kung yung limits may one-sided limits, yung continuity rin may continuity on one side. A function f of x is said to be continuous from the left or from the right at x equals a if the limit of f of x as x approaches a from the left or from the right is equals to f of a. So, if hanapin natin yung continuity niya from the left, dapat yung left-sided limit niya is equals to f of a. Ganun din for from the right. Okay? So, graphical example. So, hanapin natin yung continuity ni square root of x at x equals to 0. So, at x equals to 0, f of x is continuous from the right since the limit is equals to 0 and the value of f of x at x equals to 0 is 0 rin. Pero from the left, the limit does not exist, so hindi siya continuous from the left. Okay? Yung floor functions naman, so f of x is continuous from the right but not from the left at x equals to 0. So kung sa x equals to 0 tayo titingin, so from the right, makikita natin na yung limit niya is equal to f of 0. Kasi yung limit from the right is equals to 0. Tapos yung value niya at f equals to 0 is equals to 0. Pero from the left, makikita natin na yung limit maging equal to negative 1. So, hindi siya continuous from the left. So, ganun din. In fact, for all n that is an element of integer, so f of x is continuous from the right at x equals to n, but not from the left at x equals to n. So, sa lahat ng integers, continuous lang siya from the right, pero from the left hindi. So, same is true sa lahat ng integers. Okay? So now, magkakaroon naman tayo ng example on how to solve continuity from the left and from the right. In this example, we are tasked to find the continuity from the left and right of f of x at x equals to negative 2. So first, hanapin muna natin si f of negative 2. So f of negative 2 will be equal to negative 1/4 since given na sa atin siya dito. Ngayon, hanapin naman natin yung continuity niya from the left. To find its continuity from the left, we must find its limit as x approaches negative 2 from the left. So this will be equal to, since may x plus 2 na term dito, so alalahanin natin na absolute value of x plus 2 is equals to x plus 2 for x is greater than 2 and negative x plus 2 kapag naman x is less than 2. Okay? Sorry, negative 2 pala ito. Since we are finding the value from the left of negative 2, so yung negative yung gagamitin natin. Using direct substitution, makukuha natin is 4. So this will result to, so negative 2 squared will be 4 plus minus 4 plus 1 over negative 0 minus. So this will be equal to 4 over 0 plus 1 over 0 plus. This will be equal to infinity plus infinity, which will be equal to positive infinity. So the limit as x approaches negative 2 from the left is positive infinity. So we can say that f of x is discontinuous from the left at x equals negative 2. Okay? So, yun. Finding continuity from the right naman, again, remember na f of negative 2 is equals to negative 1/4. So, limit of f of x as x approaches negative 2 from the right will be equal to, since we are finding from the right of negative 2, the absolute value of x plus 2 will be equal to x plus 2. Okay? So using direct substitution, we will get 4 over 0 plus from the earlier example and 1 over 0 minus. So this will equate to infinity minus infinity. So may kailangan muna tayong i-manipulate to the expression para makuha yung limit niya. Okay? So, ang pwede natin gawin ay pagsamahin yung dalawang term. So combining the terms, we will get combining this, we can get x plus 2 instead. Now, we can cancel out x plus 2, leaving us with 1 over x minus 2. So, we can now use direct substitution to check for the value of the limit. Using direct substitution, the value will be 1 over negative 2 minus 2 is equals to negative 1 over 4, which is equal to f of a. So, we can say that f of x is continuous from the right at x is equals to negative 2. So, that is our final answer. So, that's it for our lesson about continuity on a number. For our next lesson, we will discuss the continuity on an interval. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching this video lecture made by Wisdom Academy PH. If you want to join our mission of providing high-quality educational videos for all Filipinos free of charge, then please consider supporting Wisdom Academy PH by contributing or donating to the following accounts. Kung interesado naman kayo maging parte ng aming organisasyon bilang isang volunteer educator upang makapagbahagi at makapagturo sa mga taong nangangailangan, then please proceed to this link. If you like this video, then please hit the thumbs up. And if you want more educational videos like this, then please subscribe to Wisdom Academy PH and hit the notification bell for more updates. Watch and learn. God bless, and see you on the next one.